What is going on, everyone? We are live for our Saturday, March 8th, 2025 live stream. We got three NHL games on the slate that I'm going to get into. Three NHL games I'm going to dive into, more than that on the slate. Three that I picked out. Two NBA games I'm going to get into, and I believe five college basketball games for a total of 10 games. Give you some picks out there, some trends on each of these games. Like I said, three NHL, two NBA, five college basketball. We're going to go in that order, starting out with the NHL. Just me on the stream today. No Mackey, no Ace, and Jesse behind the glass running things. But we're going to start things off with Mackey's New York Rangers heading up to Ottawa to take on this Senators team. The Rangers are entering this game after going 3-1-1 in their last five, with the most recent coming as a loss in overtime to the Capitals on Wednesday. Overtime, or Ovechkin tied it to send it to overtime, and then the Capitals got things done in the extra 5 minutes there. But Ottawa just 2-2-1 in their last five, coming off a win against Chicago in Chicago. Sens are 17-9-2 at home this year, with the Rangers 15-13-2. Sens in this game are minus 130 on the money line, with the Rangers at plus 110. Sens minus 1.5 if you're feeling crazy there is plus 190. Over under at 6, with the under being minus 120. This is Shesterkin versus Allmark. Shesterkin going for the Rangers, Allmark going for the Senators. I like the Senators at home today, minus the 130. I think it's going to be my first play of the day. Obviously, we get some college basketball started at noon, but a nice 12:30 game to start things out with your Saturday. Take the Ottawa Senators minus the 130 on the money line. Shop the odds. I'm sure you could find a minus 125, minus 120. Maybe if you're even feeling crazy, I do like the minus 1.5. It's just scary. I could see a lot of these afternoon games low scoring, 3-2. I like the under as well. But give me Ottawa as my official pick on this game. Ottawa Senators on the money line, minus 130 here. Our next game actually is going to involve Aces Boston Bruins, who have just unloaded at the deadline after moving Marchand and a couple other pieces. But the Bruins are heading to Tampa Bay, a team that added a ton at the deadline. Tampa Bay is 37-21-4 on the season, but just 8-10 against their own division in the Atlantic Division. Tampa's 37-6-1 when they score three or more goals. And Boston, on the other hand, is 1-4 in their last five. That lone win coming against my sad Penguins there a few days ago. And like I said, the Bruins did unload many pieces at the deadline. Going to be interesting to see kind of what the identity is of this Bruins team going forward. This is Swayman versus Vasilevsky in this matchup. Like I said, Swayman for the Bruins, Vasilevsky in net for the Lightning. Lightning money line minus 300, Bruins plus 240. Lightning minus 1.5 is minus 115, so you can get a little bit closer to even money there. Over under at 6. I'm going to take the Lightning. I want to see what the score first odds is. That's one of my favorite bets in hockey. Let's see team to score first goal. Lightning's minus 190. Let's see. Team to score first goal in the first period. Lightning minus 118. That is my official pick on this game. I like the Lightning to score first, but if you want to just take the score first, I always like that for a little two-legger. Minus 190 is a great two-leg. Put that with maybe another one if you like Ottawa to score first in that first game. You could get some great odds there, but if you're looking for a straight bet, give me the Tampa Bay Lightning to score the first goal in the first period in this game. I think Tampa Bay handles business. I like the minus 1.5 with Tampa Bay. I'm weird with puck lines, especially in afternoon games, but I could see this be a 4-1, 4-2. Lightning get the job done. They're absolutely rolling right now. They're probably my pick. Them or Florida is probably my pick for the Stanley Cup. I think that that playoff series, I really hope we get that Tampa versus Florida. I think that's going to be electric, must-see TV. But let's tune into the chat here, see what's going on. We appreciate you leaving any questions, comments, whatever you got. Who do you have in Bruins or Lightning? Like I said, I'm going with the Lightning. I like the minus 1.5. I love the money line in a parlay. If you're looking for maybe a 2 or a 3-leg parlay, minus 300 on the Lightning money line is great. Minus 1.5, I like them there. Like I said, it's just going to be interesting to see what this Bruins identity team is, or Bruins identity is for this team. With losing Marchand, you trade your captain Carlo, a bunch of other pieces, but let's see. Huge Bruins fan, always bet them, always upset me. Yeah, they're having a up and down season. I think they're sitting right at 500, 28-8. I'm looking at the record right here. Panthers versus Sabres. I'll get into that one real quick, and then I'll jump into my last game. I don't have any trends on this one, but Buffalo obviously at plus 220. Underdog on the road here. Florida at home. They're very good at home. Minus 275. I think that's a great little two-legger if you want to do Tampa and Florida on the money line. That's a great two-leg parlay. You get a 3 o'clock game, you get a 6 o'clock game. You're pretty entertained throughout your whole Saturday afternoon. It's not showing me the odds here for some reason on that, but I like Tampa minus the 300. I like Florida minus the 275, just to give you a quick pick on Panthers Sabres there. Probably the over as well, over 6. But the last game that I have for my NHL slate here that I'm going to get into is the Maple Leafs at the Colorado Avalanche. The Avs are riding a 4-game win streak into tonight's matchup against Toronto, who has lost 2 straight. The Colorado is 20, 10, and 2 at home this season, with the Leafs 18, 10, and 2 on the road. Leafs have been great in close games, though. 14, 3, and 2 in 1-goal games this year. Avs money line tonight is minus 150 on the money line. Maple Leafs plus 125, over under at 6.5. Avs minus 1.5 is plus 155. This is a very tough game to call. Maple Leafs have been pretty bad their past 2 games, obviously getting some tough opponents. I think the Avs get it done. They've added a lot at the deadline. I'm interested to see how good this team looks with Brock Nelson. I forget the other piece they brought in. I'm drawing a blank here on the other addition they made, but I was big on the moves they made at the deadline. They didn't really have to give up too much. A lot of pieces that they can very easily replace. They're a team that's been there, done that in the past 5 years. Obviously, winning a cup a few years ago. But I like the Avalanche. I'd take them to win this game. Minus 150 is a little bit too much juice for me. Maybe look for a 3-way money line. That's not a bad play here. I bet you could find that pretty close to even money here, actually. Let's see. 3-way result, regular time. Avalanche plus 105. I like that a lot. So look at the Avalanche. If you don't want to lay if you're okay with laying the juice, take the minus 150. I think that's a great pick there. But let's get back to the chat here. Alex asking, I just don't know what the organization is doing at all. Yeah, obviously Sweeney. Tune in this week for our podcast, or even tomorrow. Ask Ace all his questions of what he thinks going on with his Bruins. I wish he was here to defend them. He was trying to come at my Penguins yesterday for saying they ripped the Band-Aid. They got all this stuff going on. You have to ask him. I don't keep up with those Bruins too much. Bruins doing a fire sale. Yeah, I definitely would agree with that. Bruins light under 7.5 total. Do you mean on the adjusted total there? If you could let me know there, but that's our 3 NHL games. The picks I gave out were Senators money line, Lightning to score first, and I like their money line. Someone asked a question about Sabres Panthers, so I gave out Panthers. I love a 2-legger with the Lightning and Panthers both to win. And then the night game, I'm going to go with the Avs on the money line. I also like the under 6.5 in that game. I think that'll be a tighter game there. But three good games to dive into in the NHL. Obviously, some other good games on the slate. We get Kraken, Philly at noon. Not necessarily a great game, but just a good fun matchup there to start things off. Some other good games today. Stars, Oilers. I was going to get into that one, but 10 o'clock start there. The night game out there. Oilers minus 120, Stars plus 100. That's a great game. Tune in. I'm sure we'll have a play on that one. That's going to be a good one. Ace is very big on these Stars. I think they obviously made some huge moves at the deadline themselves. So a lot of these teams, it's going to be interesting to see how they look with their new pieces, new additions that they made. But yeah, we'll dive into some of these NBA matchups. I got 2 NBA games pulled here. Let me see. We're going to start things out. It's the game of the day. There's not many NBA games here, but we get Lakers, we get Celtics tonight in Boston at TD Garden. Celtics are minus 7.5, over under 226.5. Lakers plus 230 on the money line with the Celtics minus 295. Lakers are riding an 8-game winning streak into tonight's highly anticipated matchup between 2 of the NBA's best. Celtics come into this matchup just 3-2 in their last 5, in 21-11 at home this season. Lakers bring a 15-14 road record to TD Garden tonight, where they will face Jason Tatum and the Celtics. This is a very tough game to call. I am a big Lakers fan. I have a Lakers future on them to win the finals this year. I got it at a pretty good time. The odds are starting to drop. So if you like that, I'd buy in sooner rather than later. This is a tough game. I'm going to take the Lakers plus the 7. I don't know if they win the game. They've won 8 straight. Obviously, it's the first time Luka Doncic has ever had an 8-game winning streak in his entire NBA career. He's played 10 games for the Lakers. He's already done it once in 10 games. I love how this Lakers team is playing right now. The Celtics, obviously, coming off a big performance from Peyton Pritchard and Derek White the other night when they were without a few of their big names. But I think this is going to be best on best. Everyone's going to be mostly healthy for this game. Give me the Lakers plus the 7.5 on the road here. This is a huge matchup for them. Obviously, coming off a big overtime win over the Knicks, I thought they were going to drop that streak there, but I like the Lakers plus the 7.5 here. Um, Let me know if you guys got any NBA questions in the chat. Let me know for Lakers Celtics. I think it's gonna be a good matchup here. I want to see what LeBron, Luka, all the big guys are set at for points. Luka 28.5, Tatum 26.5, LeBron 25.5, and Jaylen Brown 22.5. Austin Reeves a sneaky 17.5. I like that. I believe he did not play in his last matchup against the Knicks there, but um, Golden State tease the Lakers. I like that. I do like teasing the Lakers. I like getting the more number or the higher number there. That's definitely something to look at if you don't trust that 7.5 there with the Lakers. Golden State is the other game I'm going to get into, so I'll give you my pick there when we get into that. But like I said, Luka sitting at 28.5. This can be a big game, I think, for him, for LeBron. We've seen I forget what the record was that they broke last week, or as of this week, but first Laker duo to go for 30, 10, and something. But another, speaking of NBA record, we saw Jokic go for 30, 20, and 20 last night. That was absolutely crazy for the Nuggets. But back to this Lakers game, I would take Tatum. I like the over 26.5. I always say this about Jason Tatum. Every time I like his overs, it's a Jaylen Brown game. Every time I like Tatum's unders, it's a Jason Tatum game. Take that for what it's worth. I like Jason Tatum over 26.5. I think he's be a big part of this Celtics team today. I think it's gonna be a close game. I wouldn't be surprised if the Celtics win. Lakers cover, a very close game. I like Michael Cobb's point of teasing the Lakers up. That is a great pick. So do with that what it's worth. I like 7.5. I like if you could get it to maybe 12 or 13.5. I don't know what the exact number would be. But I also like it with this next game that I'm going to get into with the Detroit Pistons heading to Golden State to take on the Warriors. Warriors are a 6.5 point favorite. Over under at 236.5. Warriors money line minus 250, and the Pistons at plus 200. So Detroit is 3-2 in their last 5, with the Warriors 4-1 in their last 5, including a big win at the Knicks this past week. Steph Curry himself is coming off a 40-point game in a victory over the Brooklyn Nets. And ironically enough, Steph now has 40 points against every NBA team except one. That one team is the Detroit Pistons. So obviously getting a chance against them today. Could he do it in back-to-back games? Let's see what his point total is set at. That's definitely something a lot of people are going to be looking at. He's coming up on that 4,000 threes record. Steph Curry over under 28.5 points today. That's a tough number. A lot of people are going to be on that. Jimmy Butler over under 19.5. I like Jimmy to get 20 today. I think that's a good matchup there at home for the Warriors. But the official pick on this one, I liked what Michael said about teasing the Lakers, teasing the Warriors. You get the Lakers at like 13 points. You get the Warriors around a money line. I think that's a great 2-leg NBA teaser there for today, for Saturday night. Both of those games getting underway at 8:40. So a Saturday night slate there for the NBA. Some other good games today. Bulls Heat. That's a good matchup there. I like Miami at home. Miami coming off a back-to-back, though. That could be tough. They played Minnesota last night. No other really great games today. Wizards Raptors. That's a absolute terrible game. Magic Bucks. That's okay. Magic have been sliding the past few weeks, so used to be big on them, but they haven't been playing consistent. So I haven't been watching too much of them. I watched them lose to the Bulls the other night. I had the Magic on a money line there. They unfortunately failed me, but we'll move over to what everyone's here for. College basketball getting underway. Our slate at noon with number 6, St. John's at number 20, Marquette. Like I said, this is a noon tip-off. St. John's bringing a 5-game winning streak into today's Big East matchup at Marquette. The Johnnies are 7-2 on the road this season. St. John's defeated Marquette back on February 4th of this year, 70-64 on St. John's home floor. Marquette is 3-2 in their last 5, coming off of a loss at UConn. Let me find our game here. Marquette, a 3.5 point favorite at home. Marquette minus 180 on the money line. St. John's plus 145. Over under at 143.5. I am taking St. John's plus the 3.5. I think this will be a close game. I think St. John's defense is able to get the job done. Marquette coming off a tough loss that they did not look good in against UConn. I'm going to take St. John's plus the 3.5. This is a team, it's starting to gain a lot of hype. I'm huge on Patino. I've been big on him. Obviously, a lot of people are starting to pick up traction on them, saying they're going to go to the Final Four. They're going to go to the Elite Eight. I'm big on this team. In this matchup, there's only so many games left in the season. I'm going to take St. John's plus the 3.5 here. coming into, a huge matchup against a ranked opponent, number 20 Marquette. I like St. John's to get the job done today. Plus the 3.5. Take the money line if you're feeling ballsy. I think it's going to fall close within that number. But I like the money line there. Our next game is also at noon, a ranked on ranked matchup, top 20 matchup, with number 19 Kentucky heading to number 15 Mizzou. Mizzou enters this game with an outstanding 18-1 record at home this year, and ranks 7th in college basketball with 84.6 points per game and shooting 48.9% from the field, while Kentucky is 9-8 against SEC opponents this year, however, averaging 17.1 assists per game, leading the SEC. This is the first conference play matchup between these two teams this season. Missouri is a 6.5 point favorite, over under at 171.5. Missouri money line minus 275. Obviously, that streak, like I said, they're 18-1 at home, minus 275 to make it 19-1 against a good Kentucky team. Kentucky plus 220 on the road here. This is going to be a good matchup. I took Mizzou last game against at Oklahoma. They were a 4-point favorite. They couldn't get the job done. They lost outright. I think they come home today and handle business. I like them on the money line. 6.5 is a lot of points. I'm going to take Mizzou minus 6.5. Not my favorite play of the day. Very good game right here at noon. We get two great games to start out. St. John's Marquette, Kentucky, Missouri, both at noon. Obviously, I'm more interested in that St. John's game. I like the St. John's plus 3.5. But Missouri minus the 6.5 here is going to be my play. Great game, though. Two pretty good games to start us out at noon as we move forward onto this 2 o'clock slate where things get a little bit better with a top 10 matchup, or top 7 if you want to get technical with it. Let me see. I'm trying to find our odds here. For number 7, Alabama, heading to number 1, Auburn. Auburn is a 7.5 point favorite, over under at 178.5. Auburn is minus 325 on the money line with Alabama coming in at plus 260. And Auburn is the number 1 team in the nation for a good reason. They are 13-1 on their home floor. They are 20-1 when they win the turnover battle in the given game. Alabama entering this game just 2-3 in their last 5 on a 2-game losing streak after losses at Tennessee and at home against the Florida Gators. So 2 very good opponents, but Alabama hasn't been playing their best basketball the past few weeks. I like Auburn here, minus the 7.5. This might be one of my plays of the day. Stay tuned for what actually ends up getting on the card. Auburn minus the 7.5 points. They're very good at home. Janai Broome. Alabama hasn't been playing good. I'm gonna say good football. I'm used to talking football with Alabama. Alabama has not been playing good basketball, I should say. But past 2 games, this is a good spot here. I think you're getting a little bit inflated with Auburn, with Alabama coming in off 2 losses. I think this should be more around 5.5. But I like Auburn minus the 7.5. I'm going to lay the number with them today. I think this is a great teaser opportunity. If you're into teasers, I obviously am. You get get a couple points going your way. Get Auburn minus the 7.5 here against Alabama. I'm going to jump over to the chat real quick. Let's see. I tease the Lakers at 18, Golden State at 3, and then the Bucks. Okay, so making it a 3-leg. I like that. You get the extra points with the Lakers. I definitely love that. 18 points there. Golden State at plus. I assume that's plus 3. And then the Bucks, I don't have that spread pulled up here. I believe they were favored by like 7 against the Magic, but definitely like that pick. Tease them. I like that. Let's see here. Tease St. John's, Kentucky, Bama, and Wisconsin. I agree. It's a lot of points with Bama. I'm sure in a 4-leg teaser, you have to be sitting around 20 points. So, I definitely could hit that 7.5, and you could hit a teaser there. That's a big window. Kentucky money line, Xavier. Let's see. Arkansas. That's an interesting game today that I was going to get into. They have to win today or they don't get in, right? Yes, I believe so. I think you are spot on with that. Give me 1 second here. It takes me forever to find these next games on here. Our next game's at 6 p.m., going from 2:30 to 6 p.m. Ole Miss at Florida. So just give me a second here to get this caught up. Let's see. 6 p.m. All right, where's Florida? Ole Miss at Florida. Florida, a 12.5 point favorite, over under at 157.5. Florida money line minus 900. Ole Miss plus 575. This is a good game here. Florida's I believe it's Condon. Alex Condon coming off a 27 performance against SEC rival Alabama. Florida 14-1 at home this season, with Ole Miss just 10-7 against SEC opponents this year. Florida's 4-1 in the last 5. Their loss at Georgia on February 25th. I like Florida minus the 12.5. I think you can get a great opportunity here, teasing Auburn, teasing Florida, both getting them down to a favorable number, close to that money line. I like Florida. I like a minus the 12.5. I think you're safe minus 12.5. I think Ole Miss is going to struggle to come into a very tough environment against a very good Florida team that's going to be a 1 seed in the tournament. A lot of people like to downplay this Florida team. All they've done is win games this year. I think this is a good spot to get them minus the 12 points. I'd like it a little bit more in a teaser. Obviously, you get some points, like I said, going your way, but that's a good matchup for Florida there. We'll get into this Arkansas game. I just got to find it. The last game I have on my slate is what normally is we're used to being a way better game, but number 2 Duke at UNC. UNC's a 9.5 point or 9.5 point underdog. Over under at 157.5. North Carolina plus 360 on the money line. Duke minus 475. I'm going to take North Carolina plus the 9.5. Because Duke is entering this game riding a 28-point game performance by Cooper Flagg in their most recent matchup against Wake Forest, while the Tar Heels are 12-2 at Chapel Hill this season, despite their struggles this season. Duke 18-1 against ACC opponents, that while averaging 83.5 points per game. This is a rivalry game. Obviously, this is one of the biggest rivalries, if not the biggest rivalry in college basketball. I'm going to take North Carolina plus the 9.5 points. I might buy it to 10, just an even 10. I think North Carolina wins this at home, or covers this at home, not wins. I think plus 360 is a little crazy on the money line. I will not be taking that one. Give me North Carolina plus 10 in this one. I'm sure you could shop it around and find the plus 10. This is obviously a great game. I'm huge on this Duke team. I think Duke is going to be the team to win the national title, or at least right now. That's kind of my early prediction. Everyone's saying Duke, Auburn, right there out of those two teams. I'm leaning towards Duke just because of the ability of Cooper Flagg, Proctor. I like a lot of the pieces on that team. But I don't like Duke minus the 9.5 today. I think they're going to struggle over there in Chapel Hill in a rivalry matchup. I think that arena, despite North Carolina not being ranked and this being ranked on rank like we're used to, I think that arena in Chapel Hill will be rocking. I think the students down there will be ready. I think obviously a 6:30 tip-off, get some time to build up the anticipation for this game. But North Carolina plus the 9.5. Let's see. Let me move over to the chat here. Auburn money line. Yeah, I love Auburn. Where do you get the picks at? At hitthebooks.pod on Instagram. Jesse, if you could throw this in the chat, at hitthebooks.pod on Instagram. Hitthebooks_pod on Twitter. Throw the handles in there just so people could, copy paste whatever they like. DJ Khaled money line. That's an interesting one there. Kentucky plus 200. I'm not on Kentucky today. Do you like St. John's to win? I do. I like the 3.5. Take the 3.5. Obviously, plus 145 is a little, appealing there. But I'm going to take the points with St. John's. Need to buy more points than that. Duke by 17. That's interesting. I don't know. Are you taking an alt spread? This is the sharp picks is all over, or the sharp money is all over North Carolina here. I'd be very weary betting these Dukes coming in on the road here. This is an interesting game. Obviously, it always is a close game between these. It's not always close. I shouldn't say that. It's always a highly anticipated game, is what I was trying to say, between these two teams. I'm trying to find this Arkansas game that they're asking about in the chat. Let's see. What time is that game? Someone let me know what time that game is first. While I try to look this up. Let's see. College basketball, SEC. Let's see. Auburn. Let's see. Where the Mississippi State at Arkansas. Arkansas is a 1.5 point favorite. Over under at 147.5. I like Arkansas. I think, like you said, the must win aspect of that game. That's a noon game. That's why I can't find it. Let me go the whole way back up to the top. Yeah, minus 1.5, minus 118 on the money line for Arkansas. I actually really like this. I should have pulled this game. Mississippi State, the 25 or 25th ranked team in the nation, over under 147.5, minus 118 on the money line for Arkansas, minus 102 for Mississippi State. But I like Arkansas minus the 118 on the money line. I wouldn't do the minus 1.5. That's a pretty even money line. Like, you're not getting, it's basically pretty close to even money. Minus 105 on the minus 1.5. If you like the spread there. I appreciate you letting me know. The 11 a.m. Central Time. Yeah, we noon Eastern Time, however you want to look at it. But some of the picks we gave out in college basketball, just to recap things. You can always get all of our picks at hitthebooks.pod on Instagram, at hitthebooks_pod on Twitter. But I'll go through the college basketball games that we went through, and then we'll go through NHL and NBA just to kind of recap everything. St. John's plus 3.5. Arkansas money line. Let's see. I leaned Mizzou minus 6.5. That wasn't my most confident pick. I said that. So take that with a grain of salt. Florida minus 12.5. Auburn minus 7.5. And I believe it was UNC plus 9.5 was the last game, the only game that I didn't touch on yet. Let me see. Let me just pull up my list. Yes, that was it. Okay. NBA, we had the Lakers plus 7.5. I like them in a teaser with the Warriors. That was my pick there for the NBA. Two-leg teaser, Lakers, Warriors. Get them both. Get some points going your way there. Avs money line in the NHL. Lightning minus 1.5 and to score first against Boston Bruins, and the Senators on the money line minus 130. I like them at this afternoon to start things off. Go give us a follow at hitthebooks.pod on Instagram, at hitthebooks_pod on Twitter. Give away all of our free plays, college basketball, NHL, NBA, NFL when it's going. MLB's right around the corner. We'll be hitting you with that. College football when it comes back as well. Thanks for leaving a comment in the chat. Leave any last-minute comments you got. We're going to be logging off here shortly. Any other last-second gambling questions, fantasy NHL, NBA, all that stuff. Let us know what you got. We'll be logging off here. A couple other good games on the slate. Obviously, like we said, I'm excited for some of these college basketball matchups. Vanderbilt, Georgia. Just to give you one last pick, I've been big on this Vanderbilt team. I think they're going to struggle today. I'll take Georgia minus the 5.5. Auburn today. Yes, we are on Auburn minus the 7.5. It is a great teaser opportunity. St. John's or Marquette. We're taking St. John's plus 3.5. I appreciate all the comments. Let us know if you got any other questions. Stay tuned for possible live stream tomorrow morning. Same thing, college basketball, NHL, NBA. We're trying to get you picks out every day on the weekend. So give us a follow on Instagram. Turn the post notifications on. Leave us a like, follow, share, subscribe, wherever you're watching at. We appreciate it. Leave us a donation if you had a good time. If we make you some money today, let us know. What picks at noon? St. John's, Mizzou. Wasn't too confident in Mizzou. Arkansas. If you're looking for noon plays, go with St. John's plus 3.5. Go with Arkansas money line, and then 12:30 you get the Ottawa Senators, and then 3 o'clock you get the Tampa Bay Lightning. So stay tuned to our social media. I'll get some plays out there. I'll post at least everything I talked about. So there's at least a definitive list somewhere at hitthebooks.pod on Instagram, at hitthebooks_pod on Twitter. It's a few comments back sent by our admin. So make sure you stay tuned for that. Copy, paste, search it on Instagram, search it on Twitter. Leave us a follow. We appreciate it. But thanks for listening. We'll see you guys possibly tomorrow morning, if not this week for the podcast. Yeah, thanks for listening. We'll see you guys then.